Don't talk to me today, Tom.
Why am I not to talk? Well, it's going to make it for an odd podcast, Gerry, if I'm not to talk to you today.
It is indeed, and the podcast in question is the Tom and Gerry Show with myself, Gerry McBride, and himself, Tom O'Mahony. How are you all keeping? You're very welcome along. But like I said at the top of the show, Tom, don't talk to me this day.
Oh, go on away, Gerry. You relax, and I shall talk to people. Oh, what he means, people, is not in a literal sense. In other words, when people say, "Oh God, don't talk to me," they're charged up and ready to go for at least an hour of natter. So
Yeah,
what is up? What is grinding your gears? What's shaking your tree?
that's honestly what it is, Tom. Anytime an Irish person says "don't talk to me," that means I've suffered some minor inconvenience.
Yeah, sit down and let me pour it into your ears, even though
Let
you've
me
one
let me
foot
give you
out the
the
door.
first world problems, and
Yeah,
it's self-inflicted, Tom. I'm trying to look after myself for the summer, and I've quit the drink, and I didn't smoke, but I would have quit them as well, and I quit the sugar, and then that was all very well and good. And like this week, I racked it up another notch. I turned the screw another wee bit, and I quit
what?
the coffee.
No, 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 no.
And I have to tell you, Tom, I quit the drink handy enough, I quit the sugar handy enough, but quitting the coffee, like ants is crawling all over me.
What did you do that for? Like, there's no. Like I
This
said,
one's not. This one's not going to stick, Tom. This
no.
one's not going to
And
stick.
I don't want, no, I'm as your medical doctor. I am advising you to drink caffeine. You're fine. You're fine. Jesus, no, don't you can't walk away from it all, Gerry. You won't be worth a curse to anybody. You'll be useless. You'll be just a
What'd you say to
miserable.
me?
You'll be useless. Yeah, see what I
All
mean?
right, sorry, no,
See what
sorry,
I
sorry.
mean?
I got a little hot there all of a sudden.
Pure ratty. Like, no, you got no. Get back on the caffeine. Get back on the. I'm all with you. I tell you what. Like, I didn't drink this weekend because I was gigging this weekend. But you know what I did? My body totally supplanted that with copious amounts of sugar for no reason at
Yes,
all. I just found myself drinking like 3 or 4 cans of Coke on Saturday for no
yes.
reason, and I'm like, I don't. What you don't deserve. What are you doing, you idiot?
It comes at you.
Yeah, yeah, it does come at you.
I'm going to tell you.
I hit my thumb today with a claw hammer, at least thankfully this time. So it's not, that's where we were at in my life
All
now.
right. Well, you're over
Yeah.
there like smashing your fingers, like you're in a North Korean jail asking yourself questions.
What do you think I could come off the caffeine right now, or the nicotine, or I mean, the alcohol just is an inconvenience. But there's no way I'm coming off both of those. Not a prayer. No,
I gotta tell you,
Jesus, no way.
I'm going to go for the biggest coffee that somebody will sell me in the morning because my
Don't
good Lord Almighty.
just get in an espresso, put 3 capsules in, don't take your mouth off until you're happy. Don't even put it in a cup. Just wrap your gums around it and just let it go.
But
No.
yeah, there we go. So I'm going to turn it on for the show here, Tom. I'm like super tired, but also super hyped. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. It's like
It's
whatever
a
dying fragments of an espresso is leaving me.
No, it's not. It's just your body is just ratty now. That's all it
It
is.
doesn't
So
know what to do.
we're catching Jerry Jones in for like some Java. That's where we're at right now. So this could be interesting. He could come out with some
Yeah.
queer stuff that some root out some stuff behind the back of the maybe some fuzzy wardrobe of his brain or down the back of the sofa of his mind. We could find
Or
some
it
stuff.
or it could be the single worst show we've ever done, Tom. Let's find out. Well, listen, buddy, let's see what kind of a fist we can make of this show this week. Anyway, we're going to kick off. Everybody, you're all very welcome along. And we got some things to talk about later on in the show as well, some of your comments to dive into. But we're going to start this week, like we start every show, with the big news, Tom, the brouhaha, the scuttlebutt, the weekly what have you.
This is a very complicated case, Maud. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous, and a lot of strands to keep in my head, man. You know.
Scuttlebutt. I like that one. I haven't heard that word in a long time.
There
Not
you go.
entirely sure what it is, but anyway, I'm happy enough to hear it. I suppose the weekly what have you. It is the height of the summer. I mean, we kind of references that, and don't worry, we will be referencing the autumn too, and the winter and the spring when
Yeah,
they roll
well,
around.
yeah. As and when it happens, we can't reference the winter in July,
No,
Tom.
it
That's
wouldn't.
just science, baby.
It wouldn't make sense. So the weekly what have you has I'm out of the loop quite a bit, but I mean obviously I'm on social media, so I get it, and this truly is festival season.
It
Um,
really is, Tom. It really is. And we actually we were wondering what would be the weekly what have you this weekend, and we were saying, will it be the Taylor Swift concerts that took place in the Aviva? Will it be the Shania Twain concerts that took place in Cork and Malahide? Will it be Green Day? Will it be Longitude? Will it be any of the above or all of the above? Because every musician in the world appears to be in Ireland right now. So we said we'd lump it all together and have a look at summertime music festivals and those that we ourselves perhaps
Have been at or have been part of.
attended.
I will say one thing, and I've done a few comedy gigs at music festivals. Never the twain should meet. Realistically, lads, I'll tell you that. Because very few people are coming to a music festival with the sole purpose of going to the comedy tent. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that now.
I have to say, Tom, and this is not an arrogant, maybe it is an arrogant thing to say, but it's just a statement of fact. I've played at more music festivals than I've attended.
Yeah.
And I'd say that would be the same for
I'd
yourself.
say it's about the same amount. I would say bang. No, as festivals go, yeah, I would say bang on the same.
Right?
I have been there because I was performing there.
Because I was performing rather than I was a ticket paying attendee guest. I got to tell you, it was the I remember it was a couple of years ago, and I can't even remember the name of the festival. It was some little, as they call them these days, Tom, a boutique festival.
Yeah,
Back in the
boutique,
day, that was
independent. Yeah,
a small festival, but
yeah.
now it's boutique. All right,
Yeah.
okay, we'll call it what it was, and it was lovely, and it was well attended, and it was in, you know,
The grounds of some fella's farm.
the arsehole of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
In the
Yeah,
grounds
yeah.
of some lad's farm. But it was lovely. But I remember going back into work at the weekend after the weekend. They were like, what'd you do at the weekend? I goes, oh, well, I attended such and such a boutique festival in the arsehole of nowhere. And they're like, oh my God, wow, holy crap. We didn't think you were cool. We didn't think you were great. Like, what bands did you see? And I was like, no, I was doing a tight 10 and then I fucked off home.
Before we get into talking about I did Electric Picnic twice, 3 times, and the two of the times we were without child, and so we stayed.
Right.
Laid out the card. Like forget tents, lads. Just get yourself an artist pass and get to park your car.
Yeah.
Why aren't you all doing that? And just duvets, lay out the seats in duvets, and you will sleep like a baby inside the thing. But 2 times we did that, and I did Electric Picnic during the COVID times, or I don't know when wasn't COVID. I don't know, but
I don't know.
they
Who
were
knows at
given
this stage?
money. They were given money to our festivals to put on Maria festivals. Like they weren't
Right, right.
festivals at all, but they were just going through the motion. So it was the most ludicrous Truman Show thing I've ever been part of. It was Electric Picnic. They had the blue ropes up everywhere. They had yellow vest lads all up and down guiding cars. Cars, Gerry. Singular. I was
Right.
driving across 40,000 acres of field by myself, and fellas were telling me with real abruptness of only fellas that'd be under savage pressure. No pressure at all were these men under.
No.
And I landed into this thing parked right up pretty much at the ticket desk because there was me and about 40 other cars. I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
In that 10 acres, there was more there, but they'd set up a bunch of Electric Picnic and nobody was going to it. It was the most bizarre thing. And at
But
this,
am I right? Now, just help me with this one, Tom. This wasn't Electric Picnic itself, though. This was some Maria Electric Picnic summer, was it?
no, it was Electric Picnic,
In
Gerry,
Stradbally.
in Stradbally. They had all the cones out. They had all the blue rope you want. They had all the Harris fencing you wanted. They had all the staff you wanted. And I got directed to what I was raging that it wasn't on because it was just comedy folk and other people that were performing at different times of the day came to see us. But it was this brilliantly imagined, wild kind of fun redneck stage with it had like busted trucks stuck in the top of it
Nice.
and pickup trucks. It was cool the way it was laid out inside in this lovely area inside in the forest. There seemed to be about 35, 40 people there and they were all dressed like performers with Jerry Fish and the Mudbug people who were like Dirty Circus and these people. So in
Yeah.
half burlesque gear, people standing there going, this is actually kind of cool in the middle of the day. It was the most bizarre thing. And from there, then we all there was no hanging around. You had to kind of go. They were like, you have to go now. I went, all
Right.
right. So there's no hang. I went, well, you can hang around, but Might be nothing else on.
You can hang around in the village.
It was the
You can
most
hang around in the
bizarre
outskirts
thing.
of Leash.
It was the most bizarre thing I've ever been involved with. It was, but in one way, I was kind of going. So did I perform at a festival? I don't know. It
Yeah, it
does a
was.
festival. Does it just require some stages and a few generators ticking over, or does a festival need to actually have people? I don't know, but
A, a deeper question than can be answered with the Tom and Jerry show. But I'll tell you a question we can answer here, Tom, is what's your first big outdoor festival experience, your outdoor gig experience? You've already said here somewhere along the way that you went to see Eminem in Punchestown
yeah,
and
my
buggered off before you played you Lose Yourself. Where did it all start, pal?
I think it all started with Beat on the Street, and I think we may have talked about this back in the day. I think that's where it started because there wasn't music festivals. There was one or two that would pop up, but realistically, what they were was like, you know, traditional music sessions would take
Right,
over a
right.
town. Like, you know what I mean? They'd take over, say, Clonmel, or they might take over Killorglin, or they'd take over Galway or whatever. And that's what you'd go to, to be shocked and a Gaeilge would have something on, and there'd be barrel rolling going on and running, wife carrying competitions up the main street and stuff like that. But I think Beat on the Street, the 7 Up sponsored Beat on the Street, was it Andy Fanning? What's your man's name? He had giant glasses and kind of a mullet. No,
Oh,
am
yeah,
I
oh,
wrong?
not Dave Fanning. No, who are
No,
you
there was
talking
an
about?
Andy something or other. There's people listening to this who I'm not good with nostalgia, and I'm not good with. They're
Screaming at the
screaming at their phones, going, "It was It wasn't Andy McNabb. He was an SAS guy who went on to be a writer."
came over to slot a few paddies.
And it was, if you look it up, it's so bizarre and aggressive how but the kids are kind of ready for his style of questioning at this Beat in the Street. And that's what it would be. It'd be like you'd have Boyzone perform on a trailer, and they would take up
This is it, yeah. But did
it
that
was
not
a
take place
great
in
idea.
Dublin? Did you go
No,
up to Dublin and see that?
no, they went around the country. That was the idea
Okay,
of it. They'd
right.
bring this truck, rip back the curtain side on it, block the main street, and they would have different bands on, from DJs to different bands, and they'd have break dancers. And it was just a
Right.
thing to go. And what would happen as a result of that then would be people selling shite, like those
Yeah,
balloons
yeah.
that bounce back and forth with rice inside them.
Nice.
And you know the ones. And then
Absolutely.
there's old ones with tables out on the footpath selling chocolate.
Right.
Do you know these would attract the vendors of sorts, but and it would all pack up about 6 or 7 o'clock. I think I could be wrong. Maybe there was a later one for older. I don't know, but that was
The
the
only,
early.
the only, the only, the only, I had no experience with the beat on the street. Like, we would have been about the same age, you and me are of an age. So whatever age you would have been there, well, like, what would you have been, like 12 or 13 maybe?
At most, I'd say.
Yeah, because I would have been about 13, 14. But I remember being at school and someone came in and they'd gone to the beat on the street in Dublin. We were up home in Carrickmacross, right? But they had left school at the day beforehand.
Oh,
Just normally as you would leave school and went up and parked in Dublin, took an hour and a half to drive up to Dublin with their mom and dad, and went to the beat on the street, and then got back in their car and drove home. And when we heard this, this was like, you got Concord to see Queen live in Philadelphia? Like, this was like madness to us. What do you mean you went to the
yeah.
frickin' beat on the street? I
What
didn't know this was a
kind of
thing. I
free
didn't know this was an
spirited freak?
option open to me,
Who is this Protestant child? This
right? I would
this
love,
is
like,
somebody with
I don't even
notions.
know how I would like broach the subject with my parents at the time. Yeah, excuse me, I would like you, Dad, when you get home from driving to Digger for 12 hours a day, to load me into the car and sure, yeah, take the sister as well while we're at it, and go up to Dublin and park up because I want to go see OTT play on the back of a curtain-sided trailer.
Yeah, a swift fuck off would have come your way.
Yeah.
Do you know what's hilarious?
If I'd have been taken to Dublin, I would have been left there.
The one other Monaghan man I know, and he lives near us here, and he is so old school like that he made one trip to Tipperary, got a job, and I don't think he's ever gone outside the town before ever since.
No.
I don't know, has he gone back to Carrick Cross? He's like, oh Jesus Christ, where would a fella start out with that kind of a journey? Like, it's not that far. It's
Well,
motorway the entire way. Do you know what
let
I
me
mean?
tell you, Tom O'Mahony, exactly how far it is because my first big gig, outdoor gig. Now, I'd been to a couple of bits and pieces. I'd been like to a concert in the Point before. That would be about it, right? But I went to Tipperary, my friend, in 1997,
Oh,
in the
yes,
summer
you
of
did.
97, for the
Yes, you
day
did.
trip to Tip, which was fail in 97.
And
Fail, if I'm correct in this, had been going on since the early 90s, and it was a multi-day festival, very like
yeah,
what uh
Electric Picnic is now.
no, not even, I don't want to say, because I think it was more like in the town. So it was more like the
It was in
Kilkenny
the
Cats
town.
Laughs
Do you know
with
what?
bands instead of comedy. So
It
it was
was.
just like bands in the
Yeah,
town,
yeah. I always thought of it like the Edinburgh Fringe. Like it is.
right?
It takes over. It took over Thurles, and it would be based out of Semple Stadium, where you would get your big bands like at the
Yes.
time the Saw Doctors. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And everybody would mow in to see the Saw Doctors, obviously, and maybe Planksty or Christy Moore might jump up and do an old bit as well. Like, but it was Pint Central and people sitting on telephone boxes. Like the streets were not to be. You weren't bringing your car down the street during
No.
Fela, like.
No. No. Now after it was a multi-day shenanigans, I think the fair people of Thurles said no, that's not happening again. So instead, they had a day trip to Tip, a once-off day trip to Tip. And I think they might have done it 2 years in a row, 97, 98. Gonna need citation on that one. I went to one, Tom. It was ample. It was plenty. And it was the first big stadium gig that I went to. And I don't know how I saw home from it. It was
How did you?
1997. I was 16,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Drinking
And
cider the
Semple
whole way.
Stadium, I just stuck it in Google Maps there for this near. Semple Stadium is 3 hours on today's roads away from Carrickmacross, right?
Jesus
That's the
Christ.
fastest a car can drive from Carrickmacross to Semple Stadium
So
today,
25 years, 26 years ago, that would have been all the Abbey leaks, all those bullshit. Like, so you're doing
right?
5 hours minimum there
On a bus.
for one spin and to get drunk. Well, you were drinking cider on the bus,
Well,
obviously.
you know what I'm going to tell you, Tom, and I will say the lineup was great. Now it was the Prodigy and the Manic Street Preachers,
Oh, I
and
remember that year. Oh, what a
remember that?
lineup. Prodigy absolutely ripped it up. Your man climbed
Oh
the,
man,
the scaffold and everything, Keith Flint, like,
it
yeah.
it, 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 it it was like nothing I'd seen before or since. And in truth, now I didn't get the good of it because by the time, as the story will unfold, by the time the Prodigy came on, I was ready for the bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were
Foo
projectile there,
Fighters
yeah.
were at it, and like big bands at the time, like there was a band called Kula Shaker that I really liked, and that's a wee bit cringy now when I look back on
What's
them.
wrong with Cooler Shaker? Cooler,
And
cool. Yeah, yeah.
when did you listen to them last time?
I haven't in a long time. Oh, I
Yeah, I
won't
know.
lie. I'm leaving in my memory. I won't ruin
I
it.
don't think the sun has shone on them all that well after after the late 90s.
What was their song? Violet,
They had a
violet,
song and it
violet,
was sort of they did
taffo.
it was
What's
like
that?
Govinda Jaya Jaya
Yes, that's
Gopala
it.
Jaya. And hear them. No, I'm not saying it kind of goes like this. That's the exact fucking lyrics of
So
it, and I
it
can
was
remember it.
it was just it was yeah, it's weed music. Like it was for
Yeah,
weed. Yeah,
exactly.
weed smoking. Yeah, I get
And like it's 26 years, and I remember quicker than I remember my PPS number.
it.
But no, Tom, we didn't drink cider on the bus. We got down there and we got out and we went to the first off license that we could find, and we bought whatever drink they would sell us, and we drank it. And we walked into Semple Stadium, and immediately I turned around and I was alone in Semple Stadium. Semple Stadium, not a sinner to be seen. I didn't know up from down. I was more drunk than anything, and now I'm in Thurles, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. Cardigans on the stage. That's all right. And like it took 2 hours a circle in the stadium, and I fell across lads I knew from Carrick, and I was like, thank Christ, because I would still be there now.
Well, to be fair to for a Monaghan man to ever be on the hallowed ground of Semple Stadium is a very rare occurrence. I can tell you that it hasn't happened
Yeah,
too many
well,
times.
you know,
I'd say
I
you're
did
the
not.
last one.
How will I say this on a family-friendly podcast, Tom? I did not honor that hallowed ground.
No, you did not. No doubt you didn't, you bastard. You.
I'll tell you a thing. I'll tell you a thing I drank that day, Tom. Right?
What did you get?
What drink did I drink? What would a young man be influenced to drink of that time? I don't even know that you can still get it, but the ads were hopping on the
Harp.
TV. Nope. I don't know that you're gonna get it. I drank Labatt Ice.
Jesus Christ. Were you on your period or something? What the fuck?
Labatt. I want to say it was like a Canadian beer, and it's probably
It was,
bought
yeah.
up and
I
bought up
think,
by Molson's and shut down now.
yeah.
And they had like this ice brewed beer, they put it real cold until ice crystals formed, and then they bottled it, and that was the smooth taste of Labatt Ice. Like, Tom, if you're learning nothing from this podcast, is that my memory stopped logging new entries in 1997
I think
because I'm here
we
recalling
found
Cool
that
Shake our
when you were
lyrics
able
and
to read the micro abrasions of my forehead thinking last week, and were able to figure out that I was thinking of Tango and Cash without even a hint. Now I did catch you on Twitter with nobody else picked up on
No, that was a
Chopper,
one and
that it
done.
was Neville Bartos from Chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we were one
I
on one.
put that. I put that in. I put out a tweet. I forget now what it was about, but
It's about
I
that dog
tweaked a
looking for
line from
food.
Chopper, and I was like, I wonder who'll get this. And lo and behold, it was my man Tom
Yeah.
Bear.
Jesus Christ.
But Tom, let me ask you a question. And we're going to move on with festivals, okay?
Ah,
Because neither of us would be like huge music fans,
it's true.
right?
Which seems like a weird thing to say nowadays.
It seems like an odd thing to say.
I say it all the time. I have a one monthly thing where I pop into a radio station in Spin 103 or Spin Southwest, I should say, in Limerick, and have a lot of fun on a Saturday morning, doing my best to not let them play any music during the
Right.
time, because I said I just, and people are aghast when I go, I don't really like music. I don't wear any of their t-shirts or listen to it. No, it's fine if it comes on, but truth be told, I'm okay without music. And they are horrified by the notion of that.
I, I I would try and keep abreast of newer acts and one thing and another. And I would say, like, I'm not a huge music fan, but when I think about it, Tom, I've gone to a musical concert. I've gone to the Grand
You've
Ole
gone to
Opry.
way more than me. Way more.
Yeah,
You've
I've
been
been
to
to
see
the
Dolly
proms.
Parton.
I've been to a music gig every year for 30 years.
Okay, you're like 27 ahead of me, truth be told.
Honestly, yeah. When I think about it, I'm like, yeah, no, no, you couldn't drag me out of the house. You couldn't drag me out of the house, but I will go see, Credence.
Yeah, no,
You couldn't drag me out of the house. You couldn't drag me out of the house. Oh, AC/DC are playing in Croke Park. Oh, yeah, I suppose I'll go to that.
yeah,
So my question to you is this: have you ever been to Slane?
no. Well, have I? Did I see? Wait a minute, was it Slane that I saw Guns N' Roses in? I think I did. I think I saw Guns N' Roses there. Maybe I'm absolutely dreaming that, and I didn't. So
I know Guns. You see, you're kind of frying my brain here a little bit because I know Guns N' Roses played in Slane in like the 90s.
I think I got brought there.
But did they go again?
Oh, they did go again in relative recent time, and I drove through Slane to get to a gig and was cursing every bollocks who was like, the goat hanging over the t-shirt or over the jeans, and he had that looped chain. There was like 90 of these guys just randomly walking across the road. Looped
Well, I
chain.
mean, like this is, you don't need to look far to spot an Asian rock. You're absolutely right, Tom. Guns N' Roses played. I'm like that. What do you call that freaking doofus on the Joe Rogan show?
Jamie,
Jamie. I'm the Jamie here. I'm just looking shit
you're
up on
flying it.
Google. Yeah, Guns N' Roses played in 1992 and 2017, Tom. 83,000
I
people,
didn't go see them.
including Tom O'Mahony.
I don't
went
think
to see them.
I don't
in
think I went to see
2017.
them. I don't think I did. Why do I have that in my memory? Who implanted that Jason Bourne fucking ability to
Yeah, I
think that I was
mean,
at that? I couldn't put my hand on the Bible in a court of law, Gerry. I'll be honest with you. I just really enjoyed drinking, and I didn't need to be brought to a music
but where
festival
you,
to
were you in Meath at the time, Tom?
possibly. I can't verify nor deny. I don't know. Um, I would have had a deep rooted feelings about giving any money to a landed gentry
I mean, that's a bitter pill, I
guide.
got to tell you.
Do you know what I mean? That kind of when the thing still belongs to some guy called Lord. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ Almighty! If a half a cent of this it goes
Lord,
to him,
Lord
that
Mount Charles.
yeah, that sits on my that squeezes my nipples a small little bit. I won't lie. It's like Jesus Christ.
I gotta tell you, and this is, remember I was saying, like, about the Oasis nightclub up home where I'd be like, yeah, the Oasis. Why wouldn't you? Sure, right on the doorstep. You'd be mad not to go. Sure, what else would you be at? And people would be like, no, we only went there once in our lifetimes, and we remember like a treasured childhood memory.
Yeah.
Slane is like that for me. I went to it like 6 times because Slane is only up the road from Carrick. It's
Of
half an hour
course
on
it
the
is,
bus.
yeah.
I gotta tell you, like, after you've done Semple Stadium and return, half an hour up to Slane doesn't sound all that bad.
Half an hour there, not half an hour back though.
Definitely not a half an hour back. I tell you one thing. That is the thing that gets me with gigs now, Tom, and it got me with Slane in particular, is getting out of the place.
Ah, Jesus, I can't tolerate people. I can't. That's half the reason why I like to go to comedy, Jerry. But the handiest way of going to comedy for me is to actually be on the stage because
Yeah.
then I can just run out the back door
Bye
and I
bye.
don't have. I can
Get
just.
a first car out of the car park. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I've been that soldier.
yeah.
One way or another, I've been that soldier. But Slane, Tom, is a curious beast. And I want to tell you a quick story about going to see Madonna in Slane.
Jesus Christ. Okay, let's have this story to round off this
Um,
Madonna of all people.
Madonna in
The
Slane, and it was
material girl
Rouse first and
herself,
foremost, right?
who
It
for
was
some
Rouse
reason
first and foremost.
has taken to having an English accent in recent times, relative recent times. Don't know why, but sure, look at it happened to your
Of
man
all
from
accents,
it
Tom.
happened to your man from the Backstreet Boys. Nobody knew why. Perhaps a
Happened. Do
blow
you
to
know
the
who
head.
else it happened to? And nobody gives out. It happened to Scully off the X Files.
I'll be honest with you, several childhood crushes crushed in that moment when she went, "Oh, hello, oh,
All right, Gavna. I let
sweep
it
your
slide. I didn't
chimney,
mind it.
fuck."
Yeah, you, me dad.
Now, if she did go, "All right, Chuck, having a pint," I go, "Oh, do you know what? I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that."
Yeah, Scully. What happens if you fall off a chimney there?
After out with, you know,
So there was ill feeling against Madonna in Meath to begin with,
Jesus.
because she demanded that Slane take place on a Sunday rather than Saturday on account of it's a religion, Kabbalah. Is that what it is?
And she goes by the name Madonna. I
Yeah,
would have said it's rooted in Christianity. Just on
it's some sort. I want to think that.
with a name like Madonna. Come on now. What's
Yeah,
her
no,
real name? Is it Noelle Ryan or something? What's her real? She's got a normal old name, does
no.
she?
Actually, she's like Prince. Her name is Madonna, as far as I know.
It is now, but she
No, it's
wasn't.
Madonna Saccone, isn't it?
Is
I
it?
want to get Jamie on the thing here. Madonna real name. Prince's real name was Prince.
But yeah, of course. Look at him. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, not for nothing as well. I think RuPaul's real name is RuPaul. Yeah, Madonna Saccone.
By
Yeah,
Jesus.
there you go. Every day's a school day.
Fucking hell.
There you go.
I have no
Beyonce's
idea.
real
So
name is
she
Beyonce as
dragged it
well.
over onto a Sunday just to act the
Dragged it
polish.
over onto a Sunday. And so that was sore, right? And like the lineup was now no harm to it, wasn't great. Because Slane is always like, yeah, there's a big act and there's a couple of smaller acts, and that's all right. But it was Madonna, Iggy Pop, and a DJ. And not like, Armin van Helden or anything like that. Just like some lad
Right.
from up the road spinning tunes.
Yeah.
Like just as you know the way if you're walking into a festival and they just have like the radio playing or whatever it is, like
Oh
just a
Jesus.
couple of tunes just to get
He
you
got the
from
call the night
yeah,
before for sure.
right?
Right. Yeah.
And Iggy Pop now, a couple of good songs and that. He's not going to play to a Madonna crowd,
No.
right?
No.
That's it's not like, and here ahead of Garth Brooks, here's Rammstein. Like, not going to happen, right?
Oh, no, to be fair, I could deal with that. I
Right.
could deal with that.
And Madonna, I'm still sore about this, Tom. Right? This is 2006, nearly 20 years ago. She just didn't come out. She just didn't come out, Tom. It was like 8 o'clock would be the natural time for her to come out because Iggy Pop was off the stage there for about 3/4 of an hour. He finished up at like 7 o'clock, 7:15. And it's like, all right, okay, they're not going to turn it around in 15 minutes. So 45 minutes, 8 o'clock, that'll be the show, right?
Yeah.
And 8 o'clock, the DJ comes back out and spinning tunes. It's like, okay, that's hyping us up because Madonna's coming. Madonna's coming in the next half hour, right? You know what I mean? 8:30, no. 9 o'clock, no. 9:30, surely. I think it was 10 o'clock when she came out. 2 hours late.
The tramp.
And at that stage, the crowd was ready to bottle her.
Go away.
Yeah. It was like, it was ugly. Everybody was like, fuck this. Like, just like super sore. And she came out and she bashed through like a prayer or whatever like that. And
Papa,
like there
don't
was
preach.
it was like, we'll forget it, but we don't forgive you. And that was like, do you know the way people say like you can sense a riot in the air?
Yeah.
I
Do-
really, really think that we were another half an hour away from like Woodstock 99. Let's burn this bitch down.
What a great. By the way, anybody who hasn't watched that documentary on Netflix, go watch that. It is
It's brilliant, yeah.
tremendous. It is tremendous. It was essentially, if you imagine the entire thing was a Limp Bizkit song.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, one of
Yeah.
those days. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
this place is gonna. Oh, do you know
That
what she
was
was
it.
doing? I'm
That
gonna
was it. I
piss
mean,
you
like,
off. I have inside
the
knowledge,
place
Jerry.
has survived, like, AC/DC,
Metallica. It is guns.
Metallica,
Yeah.
riotous crowds and all this kind of thing. And the closest they had come to storming that castle and kicking him out of the country was Madonna in 2006.
She was probably inside drinking tea with him, getting an English accent off him. That's what she was doing now. Just to grind your
Mm.
gears a bit more, there.
There you go. Well, anyway, guys, if you have been to any of the musical gigs going on this summer, or indeed you're going to any of them, let us know in the comments. We want to. Am I wrong
But
about Madonna? Am I being too harsh on Madonna? Were you at the day trip to tip? Or were you at the freaking beat on the street?
I want to hear of even the boutique ones that Jerry's on about. That I haven't a clue what a boutique. I've done it. I think I've done a couple of boutique festivals. I suppose you'd call them boutique festivals. Um, One where a wild deer walked right up to the side of the stage. Nobody could see it. Well, I say it was wild. It was actually on part of a deer farm. And this deer was full antler deer walked up. And I couldn't, I tried to reference it, but nobody could see this deer looking in the side stage at me. He was like, he was all but tapping his fucking wrist, kind of going, hurry, wind it up there, Tom. You've done,
Yeah,
that's your time.
I
This,
thought
I was
I
getting
thought you were going to
fucking,
say, Tom. I tried to shoot it, but here we are.
yeah, well. So that is the weekly, what have you?
Yes, that is the weekly. What have you? And that deer. Yes, what can be said? A hell of an animal.
Some fella.
A wonderful way to make a hymns of a segue,
Oh,
Tom.
this is going to be, you are just going to use your 10-point antlers to just absolutely smash your way through like the Kool-Aid guy and just smash into this with,
I'll get through this. Like I said,
yeah.
it's becoming apparent, Tom, that coffee is the captain of this ship. But enough about all that and all the guys that are playing music festivals across the country over the summer. That's those guys, and there's plenty of those guys. Every time you turn around, Tom, there's those guys. You can't open your front door without a those guy. Every now and then, there's someone when you look at them, Tom, and you have to say, and then there's this guy.
Now there's that guy.
This guy. Oh my God. Well, we've pushed it. We've pushed this guy in a few directions, haven't we? We've pushed this guy from
This guy,
this
this
woman.
guy is yeah, it's a
This
state of
woman.
mind, Tom. It's
Oh,
not. It doesn't. This guy can be a lady. It can be an animal. It can be the entire England football team
it
who
can
are doing
be,
terribly. It seems.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh
No,
shucks!
they won, I think, last night against all odds. They beat Switzerland by all accounts. This
A
is
hollow
coming
victory,
from,
Tom.
yeah. But I sent this on to Jerry because this lad is broad when you go to this lad. And we have now, I didn't see us going here because it kind of terrifies me, but this is coming from NPR
Looking at it
radio,
now,
which
Tom.
I don't know how I have this pops up on my Twitter feed every so often, but God Almighty, this is we log this moment, people. Log this moment. Literally,
Yeah,
find your Google Calendar. If it'll, it probably won't allow you in a couple of months' time, with AI. But I want you to log this moment. That this is when Miles Silverberg found that chip, and it took his company, Skynet, in a whole different direction. In where he referenced in Terminator 2, because this is the beginning of the end, Jerry. And
yeah, Tom. Tell the
I,
people what we're seeing because I can't look at this goddamn
Jesus
thing.
Christ, I have it open here, and it's actually a moving GIF of what we're seeing. So the title is "A Robot Gets a Face of Living Human Skin That Allows It to Smile." So
Yeah.
they're scientists in I think they're in Tokyo,
Yes.
of course, yeah,
Tokyo
Tokyo
University
University.
researchers.
So basically, they've come up with a layer of skin that they were able to culture from human skin, and they figured it would actually move perfectly over. And the one they've done it in, they have a 2D version that they've pulled over a bunch of little nodes behind it that will move it
Yeah.
around. So if you imagine, people, what we're looking at is, do you remember, was it semi slices of that pork, onion, and tomato shit you get in the
It looks like
supermarket?
Billy Roll. Yeah.
Billy roll, that's it. With two of the cream, and it is everything a nightmare begins with, right? That's the 2D version. So if you imagine a whole pile of little nodes behind it, moving the face into a Billy Roll smile of this shiny, gelatinous, pink blob of skin, that I am still going with. I'm gonna need to reaffirm here. It's from a human, like whose skin I don't know, but like they're okay in this, Jerry, by saying, "Ari, yeah, but you're like down the line, lads. This kind of technology could be right good for people who need plastic surgery and stuff." Do you know when you're like, "No, you tramps,
Yeah, I mean,
no, you absolute bastards. You're not trying to put that on somebody. You're not. You're putting it on a robot first, and it's smiling, which is even more terrifying. Like, not, you could have had it just winking. You could have had it just raising its eyebrows. Instead, you have this big old creepy, wrinkled, shiny, gelatinous smile coming up. Bad enough that is, Jared, but if you scroll down the page,
no, I seen like
oh,
yeah,
Jesus Christ. We're straight into Westworld here. Like, they're now able to pull it over an actual head,
skull.
a skull, and a robot's skull. And oh my fucking God, this is it. Like, Dr.
Do you know, a
Takeuchi.
couple of things here, Tom.
Oh, Lord Jesus Christ.
Like, number one, probably the biggest question I have is who asked for this?
No, not a sinner, Jer. I'll tell you that straight up. Not one sinner who didn't look 2 minutes down the line. How?
And I don't think words can. We'll throw it up on the socials. I don't think words convey the sheer horror of what this week's This Lad looks like. It's a robot, yes, but by that we mean like it basically is an electrically movable item. It looks like if you left a petit filou out in the sun and a skin came on it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's pink,
And
Tom. It's a pink smiley face. It's a pink face that smiles. It looks like it's just delighted that Brexit went through.
Yeah.
Right? All right, so think of anybody that voted for Brexit just happy, you know?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, do you know what Tory roll would be a good name for?
Yeah, Tory roll. Yeah. All right, a gammon. It's got this gammon colored face. It's
Yeah.
horrendous. And they can make it smile, Tom. If they can make it smile, you could. And this is what I want to know now. Why does it have to be living? Like, why is like what was wrong with just like good plastic?
Oh, sure. He's saying, listen, he's saying it's a 50-50 deal. Basically, he's putting this on the robots to just, because it'll work better for smiling and everything. But sure, down the line, he says, it could be, it could end up being self-healing, you know?
I'm gonna. Uh, how will I say this, Tom? This is a wee bit nerdy of me,
Are we going
but I
back to
remember seeing
1984 where a certain, I need your
well,
clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
onto a motorcycle. Here's the thing, right? I read somewhere that robot design is hampered by this idea that they should stand and walk like humans.
Yeah.
Okay. If what you wanted was a robot that delivered your post, put it on four legs like a dog and it'll never fall over and it'll walk around the place and it'll be quick around like that. But when you get a thing that stands up and walks on 2 feet and has arms like a human, that's when it loses balance and it falls over and it's the weight distribution is not right or anything
Yeah.
like that. Just make it like a dog or make it like a little car with wheels and it just wheels around the place. Like R2D2 is probably the most realistic robot you've ever seen in your life because it's just three wheels and he just wheels about the place. So forget trying to make them look like C3PO, okay? You have two robots in Star Wars. You have C3PO, he stands up like a human, and you've
R2D2.
R2D2 just wheels around the place like a wheelie bin. Now, C3PO's fallen down after 3 steps in real life. I'm sorry, that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And
100%.
R2D2 would make it from Carrick Macross to Semple Stadium. No bother.
He would. He actually would.
Right? So when people say, no, they must be human looking, they must have human faces, they must be human proportions, and it must be living real skin that looks and feels like a human, one thing pops into my mind.
Go on.
You're making that to write it.
110% because
There's
they won't.
I'm sorry.
That was exactly my mind. It was like, oh, you're putting it on the face, or you're getting living working skin on the face.
Oh, I live in working skin that smiles and makes kissy faces. Yeah, oh yeah.
Because that's not where you want the working skin working. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
Exactly what you're doing.
You're road testing it up around the face first, and before you know it, it'll be down to the cooch, down at the flute, whatever floats your boat, working like a jackhammer, working like a dustbin, whatever you need. You're 100% right. Somebody wants to ride it.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Nobody wants to ride that Tesla truck looking dog that was terrifying in Black Mirror that was chasing everybody down. You remember that looking thing? Nobody wants.
And yeah, I get you. The Boston Dynamics, they every
Yes.
now and then they'll be like, "Oh, this dog, this robot dog, you can kick it and it won't fall over." Brilliant. Like, will it deliver me post? Yeah, grand.
And by the way, stop kicking it. It's going to become sentient. Christ above.
Yeah. And that's the next thing, Tom. I mean, it's one thing to, if you want to drop 2 million yen or whatever it is making these sex robots. Hey, it's your yen. What can I tell you? All right.
Yeah.
But these things are going to turn.
100%. I joked. People thought I was a lunatic. I used to do this bit before, where a guy genuinely in the audience, well, after one of my shows one year, I asked him what he did for a living, and it was like this guy had been waiting his whole life. He said he developed his small engineering firm in Dublin, and he was after getting a contract for developing prosthetic arms for monkeys and chimps that had lost their arms primarily in minefields of the likes of Cambodia and stuff, mines that had gone off. I went, oh, and the whole audience went, oh. And I went,
Yeah.
right, I'm not buying it. It sounds too adorable. And the guy came up with his actual like pamphlet and everything to my card after. And the first thing into my head was, you just gave a chimp that's already 10 times the strength of a human and is already furious. One who's you've blown their arms off them by human hand, and now you're giving him bionic arms like Jax out of what was it, Mortal Kombat?
Out of Mortal Kombat, yeah, you're giving him Furiosa arms here.
You're giving him Furiosa arms. What do you think is going to be the outcome? He's now gone up 10x in his power, and he can never be broken again. Bar his just wants to kill every human that walks the earth. What is that thing going to do?
Coco kill now.
Yeah. This yoke, you can like this guy is absolutely passing it off. This Dr. Takeyoshi, he's passing it off by going, look at lads, Jesus Christ, this skin could work great for humans down the line. Grand, keep development in the lab. You don't have to stick it on a robot to smile at us, because that's not going to teach us anything about a burn victim down the line. It's just keep it, stop putting it on things that you want to ride. Do you know what I mean?
And normally when we get to this lad's, Tom, the this lad segment of the show tends to be this lad with gas. I think this is the first time we've said, and then there's this lad, and I'm quite scared of it. And I hate to see what the next 10 years bring us.
Well, with the help of God, Dr. Takeuchi, he just finds Jesus or something. I don't know, because this is... But the lads in Japan and the lads in CRISPR in China, they're on to the next... If we're reading this now, Gerry, and seeing... Oh, Jesus Christ, I just scrolled down and saw it. If we're reading this now, Gerry, we're 5 years
It's already
behind.
too late, Tom.
Oh, I tell you now, it's already too late. Have you seen Simon Harris? Like, can you see him, like, sweat? Can you see him blink? I wouldn't bank on it that his face isn't of Sammy Roll origin. Do you know what I mean?
You keep calling it Sammy Roll, Tom. Was it Sammy Roll down your way?
I don't know. What's it called again? Billy
It was
Roll.
Billy Roll. We were never
Oh,
allowed.
well, you were up close to the north, so yours would
We
have
were
been
never.
Billy Roll.
Well, that's yeah. The Protestants call it Billy Roll. I'll tell you one thing: we were never allowed to get Billy Roll, but
No.
we were allowed to get the chicken and ham roll. And I was like, in my mind,
Your
I would
mother
never have the
knew.
bravery to say it to me. Mama was like, "What is the difference of these two things?
No,
it's
no.
the same stuff. They just made a smiley face on one of
They
them."
just made one pink and the other one kind of brown and white. No, your mother knew. She knew what side she was on. She knew full well. She knew. You used to have a joke years ago about the Pringles guy. She knew damn well.
She knew damn well that the Billy Roll was too Protestant.
It was Billy Roll was just too Protestant.
But maybe some of the fine listeners of the Tom and Gerry show can think of 100 reasons to have living human skin over robotic endoskeleton. I can think of 1, 2 at tops.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to just, rob a Harley Davidson and put on a biker jacket, and
it's either riding it or sending it in as an infiltration unit. I'm not seeing a middle ground here, Tom.
Oh no, for sure it's riding it. Infiltrating everything war related is going into the air. That's all drones.
That's true too.
No, nothing on 2 feet. As you said, if you wanted to send something, you'd send a galloping horse-sized robot.
Yeah.
With cannons hanging out its hole. That's what you'd send into war. You would not put a fella who stands upright on two gammy legs. You know, no, 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 no.
Actually, yeah, I had a bit of a bit of a breakthrough, Tom, lately. I've always said that I could fight a bear, and I think I realize, why I think that. But I would never fight a tiger.
Why? Why
I,
would you
I
think you could fight a bear and but a tiger would have you?
because I honestly, I can visualize myself fighting something that stands on two legs, but something that runs on all four. I wouldn't know where to swing a thumb.
Okay, okay, okay.
And here
Yeah.
I am thinking that swinging a thumb at a bear is going to be effective, but that's
Here's
just
the thing about a bear. He's just as comfortable on all four. Sure. That's what's terrifying about a
when he's
bear.
on all fours. I'm like, no, no, no. But when he rears up on the back legs, that's when I have him.
Oh, you know
That's when
that
he's in
8 foot
Jerrytown.
body stands up in front. You're like, who's this pussy? I
Stick
can
and
just,
move, Tom. I got a strategy.
I could just do a leg sweep, Jer. Just leg sweep.
Any rate, living robotic skin, man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. That is the Tom and Jerry show for today. We're not going to fight the
We're-
robots, Tom, and we're certainly not going to fight each other.
Well, I'll hold your wish now, Jer. Before you head out the door, you've one hand on the handle.
My attitude is, don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Got me thinking. This whole festival business and all the rest of it, and the comfort zones that maybe you or I have left ourselves fall into, and everything else. And I have a youngin on the way. Oh, youngin on the way. He's 4, but he's on the way now into
Hell of a
his.
way to break news, Tom.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, how are the? But he now wants nothing short of like he's going full Bear Grylls because the kids that he's hanging around with here, they're full Bear Grylls. Like their
Right.
shoes ain't are secondary and stuff, and all he wants for is camping. And I don't know
Camping, Tom.
I don't know if we're gonna how much of a row we're gonna have on this, but I have to now circle myself back to my childhood and teenage years where we found camping. We all camped, but we found camping handy for a group of young fellas that wanted to just go drink cider in the woods.
Right.
The tent wasn't always a full necessity. I'm just saying, if you have a penknife and a couple of 10, 10, 20 bags and an imagination, you can get a tent going if you've got enough lightning inside you. You know what I mean? It's damn near homeless is what it is in the forest for a night. But it's you were there with your friends, so it was all right. What do you think? Would you ever dip your
Tom,
toe back in the camping world ever again?
Uh,
Were you a scout, a beaver, a
I
cub?
wasn't, and I think like if you want to be somebody that camps, and we got to chatting about this when we were talking about festivals and all this kind of crack, and people that go camping at festivals. I personally can't think of much worse than going down and pitching a tent at Glastonbury or somewhere like that, and it's absolutely the pistons of rain, and you walk down into a muddy field and you listen to Coldplay or whoever it is, and you make your way back to your tent. By grace of God, you find
And
your
nobody's
pitch.
taking a shit in it.
Nobody's taking a shit in it.
Yeah.
And then you get in there, muddy boots and the whole lot, and you try and sleep in the ground in a field in the middle of nowhere. Now that's Glastonbury. Million people or whoever it is that might be down at it, 500,000 people, whoever, how many will be down at it. I don't know. I'm not going to do a Jamie on it. It was probably about 10,000 tops.
I'm gonna put that off. I'm gonna put that off the table, Jared. That's not fucking camping. That's just kind of I don't know what
That's
is.
codology, right?
That's when you're 17 to 19, sweet ass. Because you like I would never want to hear a 17 or 19-year-old even getting a sneeze. I don't want to ever hear of him fucking having a sore body part of any sort. Nothing. You are
Sorted out.
bulletproof. Like bulletproof. You remember when you were 20? Jesus Christ. I've got one kid working up on the site now at the minute. He's a Lithuanian kid. Yeah, it's embarrassing how hardy he is, how
Yeah.
good. And you're 21. That's exactly what you're supposed to be. This guy just wants to he'd go through the wall rather than building it. So if you're doing that shit, that's who that's for. But when I see guys with white beards and beads, I'm just
That
gonna
is
put it out
that
there. Beads can just get in the fucking sea. And after just before we fill it in, beads, get out of my face. If you're a 15-year-old girl, 100%. But don't be letting me see you with grey hair and beards and fucking beads.
Well, don't blow through content, Tom. We could be coming back to beads now in a couple of weeks' time.
But
Stay focused.
the
We're
campus,
giving out about camping now.
the camping,
The
and I've
camping.
had
Okay, so I've been to I've been to campsites in Europe, Tom. I went in that like the Euro camps kind of a thing
yeah,
where you go over and you get a little mobile home and you stay in it, or if you want, there's like little bungalows and they're like teeny tiny bungalows. And the place is like split up into four. You've got the bungalows, there might be like a couple of hundred of them. You've the mobile homes, there might be like 500 of them. Then you've got space to park a camper van.
right.
Okay, now that's
Yeah,
proper order. You've committed. You've made a 30,000 Deutschmark
minimum.
commitment.
And that's just the fuel to fucking get from Ireland to fucking Holland.
All right,
Yeah.
to get from the Netherlands down to the middle of Italy. And then down the way, you have the last part of the site, and that is straight up bang a peg into the ground tent camping. And the people I feel that do that love it because they've got like the best tents. They've got like €1,800 tents.
Yeah.
You know, they've got like proper bags. They've got like the little gas camping stoves. Everything is like camping. It's not just something that they threw together to take down
They actually go
with
to
them.
those industrial estates that have that camping section in Halfords. Yeah. And they
And
go
they
get
and
all
they
that
and they
shit.
and they drop 2 grand and like we are going to go and this is our holiday for the year. We're going to go here. We're going to pitch a tent. We're going to sleep in the tent on a gradient for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I see. I did, for
And
me,
I'm like, yeah, it doesn't work for me, brother.
no, you see, this is where I veer off now from that. This is where I want. Yes, okay. So you're giving me the ammo here for my opinion on this, right? So I think you wait like you're either one or t'other. You're either going camping or you're not going camping. That for me
Right.
still isn't camping. Like you brought all the fucking gear and the trappings that makes it as comfortable as you possibly can. Hey, how about you just spend the same money on a fucking hotel? Trust me.
Right?
Like what I'm talking about camping off with just a bag full of sausages, something to start a fire, and something that'll pitch a tent. That's what I'm on about. Like,
But are you
isn't?
for? Are you couldn't be for that, Tom? Because
Oh no,
Jesus Christ,
I'm
that
for
sounds
that
like
shit.
misery.
No, I'm for that
Really?
shit. Yeah, like if or don't do it at
Where do
all.
you where do
Or
you where do you
Jared,
where do you go
don't
to the
do it at all.
toilet?
What the fuck do you mean? Where do you go to the toilet?
Where do you go to the toilet? You don't just squat in a field like an animal.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Have you never wiped your hole with a dock leaf? This might be the end of the Tom and Jerry Show podcast right here. Have you never? What?
No,
My guest is flabbered here, Jer. Have you never just rooted around and went, well, there's a dock leaf, that'll do. And there's get some more.
the best I can do you, Tom, is my hole has gone unwiped.
No. No. Come
If you're-
on. You gotta root up something from God's toilet paper is all around you in the countryside.
Oh, Jesus Christ, and it's so God's fucking staph infections.
There is nothing that's gonna give you nothing's gonna kill you. That's the thing about Ireland. It's the best place to go camping. There's nothing gonna kill you here. All you're gonna get here is a moan. You're just gonna end up with a moan after it at best.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
and I
I'm
wonder why sales of Sudocrem is so high in this country, Tom. No, I can't be doing with it.
I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now. You come camping with me. You come camping with me, and we'll do it proper. I'll make sure we won't have to spoon or nothing. There's not gonna go full, broke back or anything. We just take the tent, we go into the woods, we point in a direction, and we just get some dry kindling, get a fire going, and we bang out the sausages, and off we go again the next morning, like the couple of hobbits on the way to.
I don't know. I mean, like Tom, as you say,
Come on, there's a bit of adventure in you. Surely gets going. Come on, it's gonna.
I'd
Like,
love
you
to-
don't
I'd-
won't
I-
have to fight a fucking bear, Jar. Do you know what I mean?
I'd love to think that I would have the comfort for that, or that I would have fun doing that. The closest I've ever been, Tom, to that, and it's nowhere near it. It's nowhere near it, buddy, and it's still the closest I've ever got to it. Was we went glamping one time up the north
In a yurt or something.
in a yurt. So we went out and there's like an already there campsite with like 8 of these big fancy tents. They're already up. You don't have to put any of them up.
Oh,
And
no,
again,
no.
in the next field over, there's where you can put your own tent up,
Yes.
like an animal.
Yeah,
right?
like an animal. Because cows are known to put up their own fucking tents, Jerry. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And over here you had the big yurts, if you want to call them that. And when you went into it, there was like 3 beds, a double and 2 singles for the kids. There was a TV.
A TV.
Yeah, a little TV.
Jesus
There was like
Christ.
charging points for your phone and all this kind of crack. But even at that now, the toilets, the block of toilets and the shower thing
No
was like
compost.
300 yards back the way at like a little complex, like a little farmhouse kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So
So what?
when I had to get up to go to the toilet at night, I had to get out of the tent and walk a couple of 100 yards up the way.
Hold on. What were
And
you got? Were you off to do it? Take a dump?
I,
Oh, fair enough. But if it's a piss, you are not walking 300 yards.
well, I'm not
I'm not saying piss
pissing
on the
directly
tent. I'm just
outside the
saying
tent
finding
where
out.
the family are staying either. Like,
Well, yeah, but find some foliage and piss in among that.
I know there was a load of Nordies around the place. I couldn't go.
Jesus Christ
Uh,
Almighty. Okay, I
but even at that, Tom, even at that, like that's as good a camping as experience as you can get. That's as
oh,
near to
that's
just it
deluxe.
being in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
house.
yeah. That's
And even at
deluxe.
that, I was like miserable. Get me out of here. I don't want it.
But this is where I think you're missing out. All you've done is gotten a wiggle of the tit of camping, and it's worse than not going. You know what I mean? I think you thrust in. I put a big camo jacket on you. You get you in
Aye.
full suited and booted, so you don't get wet from the gear. And you head on out with me, and we just bring just the basics. We can actually, well, we can go. We can hunt our dinner. I've
No,
done.
Tom, don't you not listening? I don't want just the basics. I want the exact opposite of that.
No, you don't, because you can go and stay in a hotel anytime. You're living in a lovely house with lovely warm walls, and you have the best of gear inside in the fridge right now. I'm telling you, take you 180 degrees away from that, because all the yurt was just a shitty version of your house. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, so we're
Right.
staying in
And
the utility. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and your cure to that, Tom, is an even shittier version of my house.
no, nothing like your house. It'll be nothing like your house. The freedom of just going, where will I shit? I mean, that's my new book in Eason's now. It's
Yeah.
titled "Where Will I Shit?"
This seems like the least efficient way to get a rash on your arse, Tom.
Oh, why are you worried about your hole? Like you've had it checked. It's fine. It's fine. Trust me. The less worrying you do, the better you, the better you will
You're
be.
not beating the Brokeback Mountain allegations there, Tom.
No.
We're like, you don't have to worry about your hole. It's fine. Trust me. Someone snip that.
That's getting clipped, Jamie. Jamie, clip that.
Jimmy, let's
Jesus.
snip that.
Okay. All right. I want to take you. I'm doing this more for myself because I haven't done it since I was maybe 17 or 18, proper camping, and I'm going to have to start getting back into it now. And I will tell you, a man who likes his comfort, and he's friends with both of us, Mr. Paul Crowley. He likes
Yes,
his
indeed.
comfort. He likes things tidy. When he drove the truck, when he was a truck driver, apparently you'd look into it, and it was like he was just after coming out of the showrooms. And Paul found himself taking up camping. And now him and a couple of the boys, they go camping. They're going edging closer and closer to actually doing it the real deal. And they're city fellas, or originally city fellas even. So I'm telling you, it might be out there for you, Jer. I might be able to get you, and you could be a complete convert before you know it. You're coming back with just a red rag tied around your forehead, a big crocodile knife in your mouth, and you're just like, to win a war.
Well, let me ask you a
To
question,
win a
Tom.
war,
If we
you
go
gotta
on this
become
camping
war.
trip, can we camp somewhere near to like a body of water that we can also go fishing?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm definitely not fucking going there.
I've no
I hate
interest in
fishing as
fishing.
well.
To be, I have no interest in fishing. We can go and get a couple of rabbits if you want. I can do that. I did that for a couple of city folk decided to come camping with me before, and yeah, it was a bit too real.
Yeah, and
I think
I'm
they were
starting,
all
and then
glad
yeah,
that
and
they
then
packed
you
sausages.
cook them and you eat them, Tom. I'm starting to realize why you're all just shitting out in fields here. Come here to me. We're going to wrap up the Tom and Jerry show. I don't think we're going to find common ground on that, but we found common ground there last week when we threw it out to the social media about shitty summer jobs that you've done, Tom.
Oh
We had
yeah, go
talked
on.
about picking stones, and we had talked about foot and turf and the such like. So we threw it out here to the social media, see what they said. What was their worst jobs? And my man Marcus McCabe said that he worked in a fireplace factory when he was 14. Again, Tom, Jamie, look up the legal age a man can work in this country.
Yeah, he definitely shouldn't
I'm
be
going to say
working.
it's
But
not
I
14.
like that. And that's the obscurity of it. Like, you'd be just pouring windowsills or working in a fireplace.
It'd be no transferable skill
No,
whatsoever.
nothing that you'll take on to the next level other than how to be able to deal with a sour owl bollocks. That's all you'll be able to deal. It'll set you up in life for having to deal with a sour bastard, because guaranteed he worked with a couple of sour bastards.
I mean, he did okay, but he said that he sandpapered fireplaces. Now, I'm going to need you to walk me through that one, Marcus. Now, sandpapering fireplaces, but I'm guessing before you put the black paint in them, they all have to be smooth. I don't know. At any rate,
It's either if he's sandpapering, it's a
yeah.
timber surround on the fireplace. If he's sanding, he
Oh,
was
right,
probably up
okay,
on
I
the
thought it was
marble.
metal.
He was probably with a big grinding pad on the marble
Gotcha.
if he was doing that. So one or two other. It can only be one or two materials he was using.
Yeah,
But
well, the mystery continues.
a
We've another
great
guy
job
here.
for a 14-year-old young fella.
Great job. Yeah. More 14-year-olds should have it. We got my man's over here, Gustin, says that he collected seaweed off the beach in the morning and did not get paid and was made dry it out and eat it for lunch for the rest of the week. So you got Gustin like
Isn't it great? Just like that.
several times there.
Isn't it great? Like, clearly I would go so far as to say he's not from Ireland. I might be doing him in there, but
I can't confirm that. We got seaweed on the beach here as well.
we do, but you'd rarely have to draw it in and eat it. But maybe that was the family business, and it was an Irish business. But isn't it great?
What do you call the seaweed you can eat up the north?
Seaweed?
Yeah.
Seaweed.
Seaweed? I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
But it's great, isn't it, to see that it's the country or the world over, whether it is pulling stones or pulling bucalons or ushtons, or they're, I was told the other day that they're calling Wicklow. Somebody messaged going, bucalons, you call them ragwort. They're ushtigons or ushtons or something they call them out east. But isn't it great that you can go as far as seaweed, and in your head, seaweed, spa, it's lovely, and all of a sudden you pick back through the layers and just go back down the chain of command, and you find that there's some poor bastard of a young fella has to get up out of it in the morning, go down to the freezing cold sea, which I've told you several times my opinion on, and has to pull that shit out of it, dry it, and then forced to eat it for the week, and not a penny did he get for it.
That's
great.
better.
That is character building stuff. That is great to hear it.
Tom, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna like this one from Chris Ledbetter at Chris Ledbetter. I might be saying your name. It's spelled Leadbeater, but I would always call that Ledbetter.
I hope they were lead producers.
Whatever he was working in a lead production facility of sorts, Tom, because he was working as a trapper at a clay shooting facility.
Jesus Christ.
He's a lead farmer, motherfucker. He was running around like a headless chicken, ensuring traps were restocked with clays, and then working the traps for shooters and setting them up and closing down the facility with traps in different places each day so shooters had variety. So that's a great job.
It is a great job, but you know what? It'd be great if the likes of me and you were showing up just with our shotguns to compete or whatever. But you know full well, the kind of people that go clay pitch and shoot. Well, if depending on where he is, but you're going to get a lot of, oi, boy. It's like,
and not for nothing as well. What I like is the bit at the end of the day when everybody goes home that you lift the entire trap and put it somewhere else so that people don't expect it. So like it's not just like constantly coming from the right.
Yeah.
That it's like, hey, you're not going to see this one coming, you prick.
There's a great one called the Lazy Dog shooting gallery. I guess he has an indoor shooting place, but as well just back maybe 5 miles back the road here, and I'd love to bring you back there. But they do exactly that, and they have a crossbow range. They have everything.
Nice.
They have the neon ones that will actually light up during the night, so you think you're firing tracers. You know what I mean, over the forest.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, hell of a job for a kid. Hell of a
spare a thought for the wee guys that have to run around setting all this up while we were just busting clays. And last one, Tom, this one unlocked a core memory in me here from Kristen Larkin, who says that spent a summer stooking hay bales, which I wouldn't call them stooking, but that's absolutely a thing.
Yeah.
And then making sure the knots and etc. And then she goes on to say that she made the mistake of wearing shorts when working with the Bales, and that just triggered me. I was like,
Never.
that, yeah. Oh my God, that
You'll
brings
only
it
do that
all
one
back.
time. I can tell you that much.
As she says, you do it one time and one time alone, because that is no kind of fun.
When you get a rub of a dried out thistle that's after getting picked up inside the bale.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brutal.
oh.
And look at that fun. Look at that, Tom. Look at the fun that we can have when people comment on our social media channels. They
Love
should
it.
do more of it, quite frankly.
Love it. We could take up half the show with your stuff, to be
I'm
honest with
telling
you.
you. We might just, I'll tell you that much. If you want to comment on our social media channels, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom and Gerry Show. A&D, Tom A&D Gerry Show, not the wee little squiggle. Or you get me at Gerry McBride, him at Tom_O'Mahony. Don't bother going looking for us on Facebook or anything like that. We're not there.
Pointless, really. Pointless. Yeah, and while you are listening to this, would you go ahead if it's your first time and just hit the bell or whatever the reminder icon is on whatever platform you're listening to. And if you can rate it, give it the top rating. It helps other people to find it and whatnot. Failing that, just do a screen grab, tag us on either Instagram or on Twitter and let us know where you're listening to and maybe fill in your story to go with it. Let us know what in the name of Christ you ended up doing when it came to a festival. What you make of this
who have
new
you been?
robotic gelatinous human face. And do you think that
Christ.
they're purely making him over Tokyo? For sure they are, Jared. That's not even, I don't even want people to, well, I want a counter argument if there is one to the fact that
if
these guys are
you can
making
think of
them.
a good reason that's non-writable for synthetic human skin,
There's
please
not
let
one.
us know.
There isn't one.
More to the point, if you went to the day trip to Tip and you helped a young Monaghan man find his bearings after falling on the ground, thank you. Let us know in the comments.
And camping, are you dipping your toe in it? Or do you go full hog, just bring a good jacket and hope for the best?
Yeah. Who's to say? Who's to say? Tom, I got to tell you, I'm going to go drink an Americano now at 9 o'clock at night.
I want you to put it in an IV and fit it in. None of this rubbish. You can't go cold turkey off of caffeine. No way.
Right. All right. Good stuff. Good times. Good luck.
Good luck.